If you're just like a regular person learning their way through creating videos, shooting content for YouTube, how do you even know if your audio quality is good or if it kind of sucks? Several months ago, I noticed that I had this hiss coming from my Rode shotgun microphone, and I couldn't tell if it had just started or if it was always there, and I just never noticed it. And so I upgraded to the Rode Wireless Go a few months ago, and I'll link to my video where I talk about some of the upgrades that I made last year, because this was one of them. So even with the brand new microphone, I still didn't know if my audio actually sounded good. And if it didn't sound good, I had no idea how to edit it. So I asked my friend Anthony to help me out here. I wanted to get some advice from a professional on how to get the best audio quality out of a microphone like the Rode Wireless Go. And I figured if I was gonna get tips from Anthony, I might as well share them with you too. But first, let me give you a quick overview of how the Rode Wireless Go works. So what we have with the Rode Wireless Go system is a transmitter and a receiver. The transmitter actually has a microphone in it. The receiver plugs into your actual camera, and then it sits on top with the hot shoe mount. So if we turn both of these on, you can see from the display on the receiver that they're working. You can see what the audio levels are. We'll talk more about audio levels in just a minute because they're pretty important. And because the system is plugged directly into the camera, the video that I'm shooting is automatically connected to the audio that's coming in from the external microphone. So now that we have that out of the way, let's start with a few tips from Anthony himself.
Hey Meredith, yeah, I love these Rode Wireless Go's. They pair really nicely with any lav mic that you might have. This is the Rode Lav Mic Plus, so it pairs really nicely. It plugs right in here, but you can also use this just as a microphone. The downside to any lav though is that you can't talk directly into it. So you're going to lose some of that presence that you might find when you're using a setup like I'm using right now with the overhead mic up here. But there are some things that you can do to kind of gain that presence back. And the first thing to do is to actually get into a sound treated room, something that's not going to have as much echo, because the less room noise that you can have getting into the mic, the more the mic is going to sound like the manufacturer intended it to sound.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a sound treated room. This is just a spare bedroom in my basement, but I think the fact that it is small is kind of working for me. I do have a carpet, but I've heard of people having pillows, lots of furniture, curtains, obviously, to help out with the sound treatment. I could put some like panels or something on the wall, but I just haven't got that far yet.
One thing I really love doing with this, a lot of people will just clip it on to their shirt like this, but that is super noticeable. So what I like to do is actually, stuff the big part in there so that you only get this little bit of black. That's not as noticeable, and I find that it works really well.
Yeah, he's right. It would be kind of weird to wear this on my shirt. It's fairly inexpensive to pick up a lav mic, and they plug right into that transmitter, and then you can put it right in your pocket. And I clip mine right here on my shirt. Now, I highly recommend that you test the placement of your lav mic, but Anthony has a cool trick for actually hiding the lav mic completely.
If you really want to hide a mic, use the lav, plug it in here, and you can use a little clip and put it right here. That's going to give you the best sound. But if you want to hide the mic 100%, you can get some medical tape. Pull a good bit off, fold it like this. We're going to make a little triangle, just like that. And now we can put the lav right here and just kind of fold that on top of itself. And now we can just put this right in there. And after you feed this wire down into your shirt, now you don't even notice the mic is there. But it is. It's right there, inside that tape. One thing you want to watch out for when you do something like this is to make sure that you're wearing a thin shirt so that it doesn't block too much noise. If you're wearing too many clothes on top of the microphone, it will sound muffled. And you really want to avoid that, because then you've just ruined your audio, and sometimes it's even to the point where it's unusable and you can't even hear what you're saying if the coat's too big or you're wearing too much clothing on top. So just be careful with that, but that's a really cool way to just hide a little microphone right there.
Now, we really need to talk about the audio settings in your camera, especially when you're using an external microphone like the Rode Wireless Go. So you want to open up your audio settings. I'm using my Canon M50 Mark II here. So I'm going to go to the audio settings, open it up. I don't want it to be on auto. I want this set to manual. And then I can use the levels that it's showing me here to determine just how much gain I want to have on this microphone, how much audio is actually being input and recorded into my videos. So you can see here that mine is way, way low. If I go up a little bit more, you're going to see that it's starting to get into the yellow and then into the red, and you don't want that. That's called peaking, and it's really hard to fix your audio. It's pretty much kind of impossible to fix your audio if it's way up high and peaking. So bring it down. I like to have mine below those yellow dots. So no matter what microphone situation you have going on, you definitely want to test this out, because I have recorded videos before without looking at my levels and I had to reshoot the whole entire video. So do a few test shots, pull that footage into your computer, put it in your actual editor, and you can see the levels. Now, one of my favorite things about the Rode Wireless Go is actually an accessory that you can buy to use with it. This is a magnet that is designed to slip onto the clip behind the transmitter. So you could potentially use the magnet to kind of clip it to your shirt or something, but I don't use it for that. I actually put it on the receiver, so I have a magnet on the receiver, and then I don't have to slip it into the hot shoe mount. I can use the magnet to let it just sit on top. Sometimes I will stick it to the side of the tripod wherever I have some metal, because when it's sitting directly on top of the camera, you can't see your levels. You have no idea if you remembered to turn your microphone on, or if the battery has run down, or what your levels even look like. I can stick this right on the front and I can easily see what my levels are and make sure that I'm actually recording audio. The batteries on the Rode Wireless Go last around 7 hours. I've never had them die on me, but hey, sometimes I forget to charge them, or I leave them on, or whatever. So for tip number 6, we're going to dive into my computer here, and I have Final Cut Pro open. So I want to make sure I can actually see my audio meter. So come over to Window and then come down to Show in Workspace, and then down to Audio Meters. And then over here on the right hand side, you have these audio meters. And then when you hit play on your footage, you can actually watch what happens here. Out is because you can use this camera with clean HDMI output. So we want to aim for those audio levels to be somewhere between -12 to -6 decibels. So as long as they're kind of bouncing around in that range somewhere, that's going to be good. Now, my audio coming directly out of the camera with the Rode Wireless Go is a little bit less than that, because remember, I have it set down to a pretty low level in the manual settings on the camera. So all I would have to do is bring my audio up. You can either adjust the volume down here in the timeline, or you can come up to the audio menu and adjust the volume this way. So that gets your overall volume where you want it to be. But how do you actually make your audio sound better, sound more professional? Well, you can do things like play with the denoiser, the channel equalizer, the compressor. And the good news is Anthony covers all of that in the tutorial that he published just a couple weeks ago. And he's even giving away a free preset that you can use in Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro. So all of my clips that you see over here in this video have these effects applied to them automatically using Anthony's preset. And what I found when I made these adjustments is my audio sounded brighter, it sounds cleaner, but it still sounds really natural. It just sounds enhanced. So if you want to get great audio out of your Rode Wireless Go or any microphone that you happen to be using, hop over to Anthony's tutorial that I have queued up over here. Use his tips, apply his preset, and I think you'll find that your audio is going to come off a little bit more polished and a little more pro level.